welcome. Gosh damn it, that StreamYard did not cut out like it's supposed to. Christian, Henny in the chat, BJ, and 5 other sets of eyeballs. Happy Memorial Day for those in the United States and elsewhere. Bunch of live streams this weekend, which were terrific. You had Scotty's, you had the Rev, Dak, Chris Mitchell's live stream with the Voice of Freedom, the Voice of Reason, and Ohio Dan. Let's see, Hammer went live last night. JR, good to see you, with his analysis of 70-year-old women's on OnlyFans for 300 Trebek. Wow. All seeing Otto, good to see you back. Morning to everyone. It's 10:47. Great place of Salt Lake City. Well, today's topic, it's your module. Those damn BMWs. Wonderful cars, but terrible when they break down. Riff Rage is in the house. Good to see you again. So is life better as a single man with no commitments? Well, it would probably depend who you ask. 99% of men would say, tie your wagons to a lady. You don't want to go through life alone. But we're seeing, as All Seeing Otto says here, 72-year-old women are now playing the OnlyFans game. So is the programming only for millennial women and younger, or the whole gamut? I would say the whole gamut. So maybe it's better being single if the programming and the mental instability is consistent with 7 generations. Would you think? Free Slave Mind says, the voice of reason throughout all the madness. Thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate you in the chat. I'm single. Want to go out with me, Rad? No Skittles in this world. Bookshelf, much better. My ex still yells at me through text, cementing my feelings of fullness and MGTOW. Well, all she wants, Bookshelf, is your reaction, which gives her attention. Remember, it doesn't matter if it's negative or positive communication, it's still attention at the end of the day. It's like press. Donald is getting a ton of press for free. It's actually helping him, not hindering him. So a woman will fight with a man or argue or, cause a snafu because she enjoys the attention she gets back, regardless if it's negative or positive. It's the same. Mr. Sammy is back. We just talked about Sam the other day, telling us about his going through 4 marriages, and he is happy as a clam now after learning his, what he went through. Big Vegas is back. Good to see you, Big Vegas. Glad you guys are here. Retro Shadow, here's a new one. I don't know if I've seen you before. Most women are ball and chains. If you play your cards right, it'll be easy as cake. If you play your cards right. And that right there, that's that hidden lottery ticket that isn't won for months, if not years. So is it better to be single? Let's talk about it. Financially, is it better to be single than committed in a marriage? I would say the pros are, your finances will be much better, much more easier. The minimalistic living will help you live longer in the long run with less stress because you don't have to buy the next large mansion or next new automobile or picnic set or new cosmetic surgery for your lady. Remember, women, as they age, they're not as well. If they take care of themselves, they can be okay. But they're typical. They have their bodies are a little bit less. I don't want to say the word, but not as durable as a man going forward. They are subject to potential, their hormonal changes, the menopause, which brings with that osteoporosis, even their mental emotional state changes crazy through menopause. So you're going to deal with a lot less stress financially and mentally if you don't have to take care of anyone. And what's the flip side? Good to see you, Manasseh. Bada Bing says, I learned at one divorce, never again. We're glad you have now cemented that memo on your wall. Europe, no wife, happy life. Good to see you. No leaving the red pill plantation, says Free Slave. Bookshelf says weak. Yeah, I wanted to say they're not as durable for 300 Trebek. if you say certain things on these sites, weak, or some sort of word that describes the condition but could be negative, they will flag it. Well said, Christian. I don't disagree with that statement. Stay single. It's better to be miserably married like a loser, says Europe. 4 ex-wives from 18 to 46. I'm out. I still do some PUA and flirt when I go visit my other home in Nicaragua. But since I'm not a Chad, I'm really successful. But at least I tried for fun. Attaboy. All good, brother. Well, you're doing what you need to do. Peace, quiet, and freedom. Whatever that means to you guys. Peace, quiet, and freedom. I don't think a woman will fit in that scenario. I could be wrong. I'll see an auto. I'll still single until a unicorn shows up. There you go. Good to see Trogue. Megatron is back. Nah, don't worry, Bookshelf. You're good. I'm just certain words now they just flag. So they say ladies are blank. It's all good. Men age like wine. Well, I think if a man takes care of himself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, he'll do well. They get more fragile every time they use the term. He's abusive. Let's look at the classic words. Emotionally abusive. He was rude. He's a degenerate. He's a narc, the classic narc. Life as a single man can have many benefits. Well said, Mega. What are the benefits you guys get? Single life is the best life for most men. Just learning from past experiences with women and MGTOW Red Pill is the best lifestyle for those seeking freedom. I could not agree more. Well said, Retro. If she is divorced, and even divorced women have their own challenges. You're well said, Christian. Women are nuts. Peter says, commit to your own purpose and goals, but avoid any contact with the state like marriage or anything that steals your power and leverage or risk taking your whole life by legal force. Well said, my brother in England. That is 100%. So let's just say this. Being single. Now, what's the flip side of not being single? What people say, you're alone. You're lonely. You don't have anyone to share your life with. Are there negatives to that? Are there positives to that? Well, it depends on where your validation sits, right? If your validation is always needing the attention and validation and recognition from others, you're going to suffer. But if you decide, you know what? I try to make my wife and kids happy. It didn't work. I try to make my boss happy. It didn't work. You know what? All I can do is make myself happy. I spent 40 years trying to make these people happy. It doesn't work. So why don't I flip it and try to make me happy? How does that work? Right? If she is divorced, it means she can't hold any relationship or marriage. Biggest red flag. Ain't that the truth? Most women that are divorced are also failures at relationships. I like to say that. I remember meeting, JR says, peace of mind. There you go, brother. I met some gals. I first got divorced, went on a couple dates, and I'd say, we have a lot in common. We're both failures at marriage. Oh, I'm not a failure. I didn't fail. He was abusive. Delusion, debauchery, and drama for 300 Trebek. The more women fail, the more it's men's fault, apparently. Well, it comes down to accountability. If a woman's raised with a strong dad who is disciplinarian, who taught them routine and structure, she'll take accountability. Most likely. If she's not, never. All right, brother, cook some good food. I got some Polish dogs today. I'm going to cook some Polish dogs with some sauerkraut. Dixie Normus. I'm finally off work to catch a rad stream. Well, good to have you. Good to have Dixie here. Tell me where you are from. Anyone that's new listening, I'd like to know where you guys are. I have a Yamaha DT 125 two-stroke in Nicaragua. Street legal. That's my therapy when I'm down there driving around the whole country. It's about 300 miles north to south border. And he's stopping. Mr. Sammy's hanging out a la bodega. He's getting a little Coca-Cola, maybe a cervecita. He's hanging out. Good to see you. Peter giving some solid advice. Build yourself from within, not from the outside inwards. Ain't that the truth? We as people, I believe the programming is all about external validation. I think that's what the world wants because they know the more people seek external validation, the more miserable and angry, the more head meds they need, the more therapy they need, the more everything, the potential to get in behind cold concrete because you deleted somebody. Everything's a moneymaker. Think about it. A woman's test is her accountability. A man's test is a woman. Well said. I don't know where you guys are at, but I could probably still do a late breakfast. Dixie's from the UK. We've got some good UK brothers in the house. Good to have you. My brother spent time up in Leeds. It's much easier to save and invest without a woman constantly draining your wallet. David Curry, laying it down at Chinatown. Couldn't agree more. Women cost money. I looked at the house that I had. It's on the, well, it's my buddy bought it, and he's raising his family there. Well, I met him at the apartments. So he bought my house. Damn thing has just gone up in price like crazy. And just the amount of resources to maintain that house is crazy. I mean, just the AC is like $300 a month. You know, it's expensive to maintain these big houses. So when you don't have a woman that you have to take care of in that regards, shit, you can live out of your SUV. You can live out of a backpack traveling for a year all over Southeast Asia. It's all about experience. Sammy's got 3 bikes, come down. Oh, absolutely. That's one of my plans. I want to get down to Nicaragua. Freedom and bachelorhood is happiness's marvel elite. Well said, brother. Good to have you. Avoid programming to avoid external validation. Mega. That is the truth. Think about it. How much programming is meant for us to be dependent on a chemical, a medicine, people telling us what to do? Literally, this is why I think that the powers that be are looking at creators and saying, oh my gosh, we need to label them, a group of potential, blank. I don't want to say the words, but that list that's been circulating about the manosphere. They don't like the fact, and most of those people on the list I'm not a big fan of, but the fact that men are talking to other men and saying, you know what, the return on investment with a lady in 2024 and beyond is not worth it. That's causing them to potentially get nervous. Break the program, you leave the expectations behind and are automatically a success. Well said. Dixie, there's no ROI with women. All they care about is themselves until the next thing comes along. Yep, we call that Brefalt's Law. Women don't know what they want. How can you financially plan around that? I think that is the key right there. Now, did I get married to get divorced? No, but it happened. I accept it. I move on. Life has been wonderful last 8.5, 9 years. Go Monk Moan on Memorial Day, says Mega. But you know what? You got to be strong to do it. Most men cannot do what we're doing, folks. They will run back to a relationship because that's all they know. Those old 2-strokes are wonderful. Rage Against the Machine to better your peace, quiet, and freedom. And that's what you got to do. We got to get out of the programming. The media has been trying to do that. Well said, Christian. Trying to make us look bad. Get up again. What's worse, women or women and having kids with them? I think for a lot of the young boys that have never been in relationships, they have a curiosity. They want to lay pipe. They want to, try to love someone. They want to go through it. They've been programmed, seeing their parents married or divorced. I don't know, seeing others get married. They have a curiosity. So you can't fault a young man thinking, let's do it again. By the way, good to see you get up again. Everyone on here is on some bullshit list. Yep. But at the same time, us older guys are saying to younger men, be careful. It's worse now than it's ever been. 20, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, when I was, mid 16 years old, 15, 16, till today, it is a very, very different world. Better hang out at the beach alone in peace than be yelled at by a little Skittles hair, says Free Slave. Couldn't agree more. MGTOW is rising. Tate's an interesting fellow. That's all I'll say. Maybe you guys don't know, but Isla Ometepe looks like it has become a gringo enclave of America. I've heard there's a place down there that a lot of gringos are going to. Tony Jones, I can't believe how happy I am now being single. Tell us, Tony, what has singleness brought to you? Where are you from? Good to have you in the chat. 2-stroke motorcycles are way too expensive for me now. Aren't 2-strokes just, you got to mix the oil and gas? I can't remember. Is that 4-stroke? I think it's 2-stroke. Oh, the government hates it because it's a climate. You're going to leave leave your what's the word? Footprint. Leave your climate footprint. I agree, Christian. Yes, Dixie. Yes, I have. I'm not a monk. I'm not a monk. But once you realize a lot of these gals are very similar to your ex. In fact, most of these women have this. They just have a different haircut and a different name. That's all. 99% of them are the same. They all blame the husband. He was abusive, and they leave the marriage. They're upset. The reality is monogamy is not a sustainable solution in my book. I thought differently years ago, but it's not. It's just complacency, familiarity, and contempt are the three challenges to any long-term relationship, marriage, and so forth. You begin to take each other for granted. It's normal. You begin to disrespect one another. You begin to let little things get under, and then it blows up, and then you change. So I'm not a fan of monogamy. I don't think it works. Pete says marriage is right for blue pill simps, not for a man with any kind of masculine in your backbone. Well said. And I'm believing more and more that the poor people get married. And that could be poor financially, poor mentally, poor spiritually, so forth. Sydney, Australia, I've actually got no money now after divorce, yet I'm happier. Tommy, you know what? Good to have you. Or Ozzy, we got a couple over there. The reality is men don't need a lot. Men do not need a lot to live. Good for you. You'll build it back. Christian wants a Harley fat boy. Those are dope. If you are single, it means God loves you. Her rejection is God's protection. Ain't that the truth? I feel blessed that she divorced me. Not for the kids, not for not seeing my kids, but the fact that I got freedom back. Electric bikes, very customizable. So I rode one the other day, Manasseh. It was fun. Damn thing. I broke no sweat going up the hill. It was one of those it was like an electric road bike, not a mountain bike. But yeah, getting around, no insurance, no gas, no, damn thing should last 4 or 5 years. That's what I'm thinking. Auto, they have the oil. The only best relationship you can have is with yourself. Women are only additions for your life, not a necessity. I wish more men understood that, Retro Shadow. I wish I would have understood a lot younger than I am now. Yes, on the passenger side, you remove the side plastic cover. There you go. Yeah, some of those old bikes are dope. I don't think they make them anymore, right? Because they're against the climate initiative. Whoever said money can't buy happiness clearly never paid for a divorce. Big Vegas. Laying it down to Chinatown. I think monogamy is for men with low sex drives and poor people. And they hold on to that person. A lot of times men, when we talked about this, the fantasy of a woman is positive in a lot of ways, but it's not real. It's no more real than the Wizard of Oz. And so men love to hold on to the label of I'm a boyfriend, I'm a husband, I'm in a marriage, I'm engaged. They love that because there's a certain fantasy and curiosity behind that. But men that have gone through it realize it was a friggin' scam. The cost to men of trying to keep that honeymoon feeling just goes up and up with a woman as the product goes down. And that's exactly what I just said. Thank you for clarifying that, Peter. It's exactly what I just meant. It can't be sustained. Met a girl, told her about a possible business opportunity. She goes to me. I told the owner that he shouldn't trust her. Then she's calling me, telling me not to take away her blessings. You just can't fix stupid, right? Bookshelf learn. Dixie Norm is tempted to sell the bike or the car and get a bike. Bikes are great. Unfortunately, there's too many crazy. Or if you get a bike, like electric bike, awesome. But a motorcycle out here, there's too many wackos that don't know how to drive. How do you guys deal with the redirection of time now? It's not taken up by the relationship. You got to move yourself. You got to find things that you like to do. If you've never mountain bike, go rent a mountain bike for a weekend. If you've never hiked a lot, go hike a couple hikes. Just try things that are different. That would be, and just go slow. Try something different once a month. Trust me, you'll find things to like. They don't look at value in people beyond what they get out of them. I think 98% of those women do that. We paint the romantic crap with women. It doesn't exist in reality. That's exactly what men do. We live in a fantasy, and the fantasy is not reality. And so when we get rejected, We go right back to the time we met that woman and we believe we're the problem. We go back and live in a fantasy 15 years after the fact, and we literally put her on a pedestal. What could I have done better? How could I have fixed this? How could I have saved it? And she is not that fantasy. The reality is she doesn't like you. She quit, in a lot of ways. You might have quit. I mean, men are responsible for a lot of our issues too. Yeah, that's right, Christian. Be careful of those ROs. Rad, have you ever visited Colorado Thressel Park? I have not. I have not ridden in Colorado. I've ridden in Canada, Oregon, and Utah. There's some great places in Colorado, I'll tell you that. I rode yesterday. I did a nice 8-miler. Boy, first time I did that trail is my nemesis. It's worse than any other trail. But I did it. Please reassure us you aren't secretly married, Rad. I can't believe what human. I am not married, guys. No marriage here. No. I'm married to myself. How's that? They use you like something to eat. I heard about that human guy, though. That's unfortunate. But I've always said I'm not a monk. I'm not married. I don't cohabitate. I don't believe in love. I don't take care of anyone. It is what it is. I don't financially do any of that stuff. I do, enjoy life. 99.9% of women are not recommended. Europe. You're more of a drill sergeant than me because I say 98%. 14 years of motorcycle is my only transportation. Single seat equals life is sweet. CJ, be careful out there. I love bikes, though. I just think the people that you're riding around are idiots. If she disrespects you, she will divorce you. Well said. And most women disrespect their husbands. Most. I didn't say all. I said most. Getting a new phone is better than a girlfriend. First wife made me sell my road bike because of kids. It's all control. And we do that because men will sacrifice their hobbies and the things they like for the empowerment and the betterment of the family. Right? We do that because we are providers and protectors. But we don't see through all of the bullshit that it's a control issue on the other side. Triumphs and fat boys are dope. I like a lot of the old cafe racers myself. Unfortunately, modern relationships are a constant shit test. I'll sing Otto. So again, that's a great segue, Otto, in the fact that is life better as a single man? Financially, I would say no. Financially, you're going to have to work less and have more of a life of experience than with a woman or taking care of a woman. If you have a woman, you're going to need a house and a specific house. You are going to need a specific vehicle for you and for her. You're going to need to do specific vacations and do specific things at specific holidays. It is very expensive to do that. Okay. Number 2, health. Is your health better as a single man? Well, if you're alone and lonely, that depression and stress and anxiety will probably cause health issues. If you decide that you are more solid as an internally validated person, your health is going to go through the roof. If you feel alone and rejected and start drinking and start, not exercising and damaging your body, you are going to probably not exist as long as other men who have decided that their health is more important. Right? Dad Surviving Divorce, great channel. Thanks for recommending that, Peter. For any brothers suffering at the hands of a spouse. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a lot of options. When I came out of this, there's very few. There are red pill channels, but not a lot. There's very few live streams. Retro, I think it did. Did I not? I think I mentioned it. Well, maybe it didn't. You guys are saying no. Health is always better as a single man. Okay, so we got finance would be improved. We don't have to work as much to maintain the environment around us, to bust our nut every nut. If you got a $5,000 nut, you're going to need to make $7,500 a month. But if you don't have a woman, can you live on less? Yes, substantially less. Downtown Managua, Nicaragua has a red light district. They call them nightclubs. I go visit them with my wingman every weekend. Again, when I'm down there, we're going to hang out. Before it was $1,000 a week, but Tony says he lives off $100 a week. Well, you don't need a lot. It has been proven. Guys, go to a channel called Cheap RV Living. Guy named by the name of Bob. He got divorced in Alaska 25, 30 years ago. And he's been living out of an ambulance. He's got a huge channel. He interviews all these people that have decided we're done with the rat race. We're selling everything. We're going to live and travel. You know, they might buy a Sprinter van or live out of a minivan or live out of a camper shell. But it's amazing to watch these people. Now, you might not like it, but how much you don't have to earn to live a very happy life. If anybody was here and had, let's say you had a van, like a Rev van, Reverend 20 pieces van. You got a little cot in the back, little stove, a little makeshift shower. You got your water. You got everything you need to cleanse yourself, to eat, to cook, go into town. And you park that van on a little place called Laredo in Baja, green turquoise waters, and you hang out for a week and you eat, you know, you get some chicken, you get some salsa, you get some tortillas, you get some eggs, you get some whatever, maybe a couple brewskis, soda pops, and you just sit there in your chair with the wind breezing, the beautiful water, and it cost you probably $100 for that week. You go a month, probably cost you $400. You don't need a lot to have happiness. What do men want? Experience. Men want also brotherhood. T-Talk says, I didn't feel disrespected per se, but I did feel profoundly unappreciated. I think that is a terrific comment. I always said that if I wanted something, sorry about that retro, I just wanted appreciation for what I was. You didn't have to, you just pat me on the head. Thanks, I appreciate you, husband. Didn't happen a lot. YouTube is all about censoring men helping men. I've learned I'm just not that important to some people, so hell with it. Good to have you, Mike P. That is well said. Dating is a huge waste of time, says Roland. Looking at it was spending so much on my ex, had to pawn stuff to make ends meet, peace of mind, and wallet being seen. And most women are horrible with money. Horrible. They make, if a woman makes $100,000, she spends $200,000. Always in debt. I can show you guys how to cook for super cheap. Just pick up a huge crock pot, fill it up with meat. Well said. I have seen those. And that's another thing. Yeah, let it cook for 4 or 5 hours. You got a delicious, inexpensive, healthy option. Recently, a woman asked me out, arranged the place and time, then 2 days later canceled and never rescheduled. I don't understand why. Another one, another bull in the ring, Mike P. They cannot maintain attention for very long. So her attention on you left. Don't worry about it. It happens to all of us. Or it has in the past. Good to see Frost out there. Good to see you, brother. Women will drag you deeper into the matrix and expensive, unnecessary expenditure than leave you to drown. Well, they're just going to jump out of your canoe into the next guy's canoe after they punched holes in your canoe and it's starting to sink. Meanwhile, while you're trying to save that canoe from sinking, you're also trying to grab her to get her back in because you built something with her. You've paddled a million miles, and now she's jumping into the next guy's canoe who's leaving the embarkment. Yeah, that's a very, very, very good comment. Women are not good with money. I dated a woman that got $90,000 because her parents died. She spent it all in a year party. Oh yeah, I can't even imagine what my ex did with the money she got. I'm sure half of it, if not more, is gone. She ghosted you. She left you because you don't matter anymore. In those other words, she's moving on to contribute to what's called hypergamy. Well said. So financially, I think you're better off as a single man. Physically, your health will improve as a single man. And health involves emotional health and mental health and your spiritual health. You know, when you find out who you are and what you're meant to do in this life, we're meant to experience life. I think I was meant to go through a marriage and divorce. What I went through, I wouldn't be here sharing it. I was meant to do that. Now, just because I was in a movie that was an incredibly Academy Award-winning movie with an Oscar-winning performance by my ex-wife, doesn't mean I have to redo that role again. I will get out of that role, and now my new role is that, Tarzan, Rambo, backpacking, experienced traveling role. That's the movie I'm in now. I already played the role of a husband, the role of a father, the role of a protector and a provider. Now I'm all about the new role. I deserve someone who knows what they want and won't play games with me. Future faking, breadcrumbing, empty promises. Yeah, a lot of women. In fact, someone had that channel up. I think it was maybe Hammerham. Why women play games with men. She's very attractive but has no goals, just wants to have fun. Well, most of these attractive women, their only goal is what the mirror tells them. Right? That's their only goal. What does the mirror tell you today? Agree 100% with you, even Tate can't control. Well, again, less people that go red pill and realize that relationships are not, there's very, very little return on investment. Well, that, that's going to cut into their profits. Tony, Rebel, what was a brief timeline after your divorce leading to where you are today? The first 8 to 12 weeks were tough. I'll tell you that. Moving out, starting over. I talk a little bit about it. I think check out my earlier videos, Rad Story. I talk a lot about that. That's probably going to be better suited. But I spent, I think, 2 or 3 videos that I go through my story and what happens. But thanks for the comment. But I'm much better where I'm at today. In fact, 7 years ago, I've had a great life in the last 7 years. First 2 years were sticky. But the last 7 have been amazing. Traveling, experience, minimalistic, now an empty nester. I mean, life is, I ran through the gauntlet, though. It wasn't easy. You get your own friends back once she's gone and not undermining your friendship. Yeah, another thing, you find out what trust truly is. And as a man that's gone through marriage and divorce, you don't look at what words say. You look at actions. I want actions. I never believe what people say anymore. Minimalist monk is the most efficient and inexpensive lifestyle I've ever embraced. T-Talks. It's a wonderful life. You don't need a lot. If I said, go buy a Toyota or a nice Japanese car that is reliable. Yes, or whatever. Korean cars are getting better too. I think German cars will always have issues just because they're over-engineered. Good to see Justin. Happy Memorial Day to you, brother. But buy quality things that'll last. You don't need 12 different t-shirts. You need 5. You need a couple pairs of shorts, a couple pairs of pants, some boots, maybe a jacket, some hats. You don't need a lot. You know who told us we needed a lot? The madmen advertising agencies. Also, me and my friend were joking, better off having a car hobby, drinking beer in the garage. His ex backstabbed him like mine's. We agree dating is a waste of time. Well said, Roland. John Boston, the legendary John's back. Good to see you, brother. What is John making today on Memorial Day? My OTR trucking buddy just impregnated a 39-year-old cashier with 2 kids who is living with her ex. His brother and I warned him, and he said, it's okay, she's on the pill. Oh, my gosh. You can't fix stupid. You can't fix it. People have to learn, though. Carl says, fathers coddle their daughters because they fear how it'll look if they don't. Yeah, I remember my little daughter at 5 years old crying after she hit her little brother. And as a father, you hate to see a little girl cry, but the entitlement, the lack of accountability starts very early, guys. 4 and 5 years old. Well said, Carl. Good to have you. She's probably sipping on some bourbon. Women who are damaged goods are good for fooling around with. Other than that, serious relationships with them are a no-go. I'm not going to object to that statement, but you got to be careful about them too. What my ex says and what she did were always 2 different things. Yeah, truth. Cooking ribs and barbecue. Attaboy. And some shrimp too. I love shrimp. Like smoked, what are they called? This is a big shrimp. Grilled shrimp. So good. I got some Polish dogs. I'm gonna make a Polish dog with some good sauerkraut. Living with women with their habits rub off on you. 12 purses are not needed. 1. Do you know how many purses I bought, Justin? I bought a Coach purse, a seatbelt purse, a Michael Kors. I bought tons of. She used them for 6 months. What a waste of money! Those stupid mother effing purses. I have the same wallet. Well, I bought a wallet in Guatemala. It's still with me. I still use it 3 years later. The one before that I had for 14 years. In fact, I left it in Guatemala because the leather was unstitching itself, and I gave it to the guy who made my wallet. I go, maybe you could use this. He goes, absolutely, absolutamente. We don't need much. Hell, most guys don't even have wallets anymore. They have a little clip. You commit to a woman by marriage, she only commits to herself. Man, right there would be a wonderful bumper sticker, Pete. That is absolutely the truth. 98% of women do not commit to a man, they commit to themselves. What can they get? So is it better to be single or paired up? Let the comments speak for themselves. But I think that your life, the quality of your life, if and only if you internally validate yourself, is going to be an amazing life. She's still fertile at 39. Those kids might have some challenges, I'll tell you that. Fathers do coddle daughters. My dad always treats my sister like the golden child over me. She is a spoiled brat. Yeah, I mean, we did. When my little girl cried at 4 and 5 to see those huge tears, tears were half the size of her body. Yeah, you feel bad. Little did I know that it was just a ploy. Cooking smoked briskets in the smoker, another fave. Ooh, that sounds good, Mega. I'll come over in the afternoon. I once tried being a wallet salesman for a bit, Rad, but couldn't get the patriarchy on board with needing one for every day of the week. Guys, you never sell to men. Men are the worst, unless it's like guns or, power toys or something, tools, whatever. Men do not buy things as much as women. Somebody said it was 70% of women consume. 90% of the consumers in this world are females. Men don't do that. We have a wallet that lasts 15 years. Men are still wearing their jeans from the 80s. It still works for me. I don't need a new one with a new stitching on the back. We don't need a lot. If you want to sell women's shoes, women's purses, women's perfume, women's jewelry, anything that is external to a woman, you'll make money. Whether it's an external cosmetic procedure, ways to look younger, ways to look more bougie, ways to look thinner. That is where men should be focusing on building the brand. The guy that started Lululemon, brilliant. Selling straight these $150 stretch pants to women, and they went through the roof. I don't know what brand that would be. Yep, that's what men buy. We buy things that we like, that go boom and go fast. Mothers are the opposite. They always prefer the son over the daughter. My mother's like that. Rick says, as per the stream title, yeah, man, it's better single. Thanks, brother. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of benefits to being single. At least what you're going to use for everyday carry. Yeah. I like jeans maybe for the year 2000. I like Levi's, but they're Skittles now, so I got to find another brand. My ex-mother had a closet full of purses, clothes, jewelry that she never wore. David Curry. Isn't that truth from all women? Simone from Italy, Rad. Today I was talking to my mom and her coworker. None of them could understand how much I've been suffering because my brother's an alcoholic and my father is a burden to society. Well, hang in there, brother. It's, some people don't understand, or they just, they walk away. Mega says, always better single. I think the consensus is it's a better life if you are mature enough emotionally and mentally. The indoctrination that commitment to a marriage is the optimal status for men is a huge, unchallenged assumption and not true. 100%. We should have learned better from Al Bundy. Yes, Al Bundy. Wranglers are better, says Mega. Wrangler's a cowboy gene. I would rather take a risk racing cars on a track day than dating both, because dating both are expensive and risky. There you go. Yeah. Craftsman roll around cabinet. I like Craftsman tools. My dad was a big Sears guy growing up, so Sears sold Craftsman, and I've got a socket set that's Craftsman. Why women are look at me, men are show me some quality. Oh, isn't that the truth, T-Tox? I even stopped doing the relationship stuff years before I got red pilled. I did the smash and pass for a while before I got shown red pill videos. It's interesting when I first started finding out about this, hearing from other guys that are going through the same thing or had gone through it, or think it was like, wow, there's a group of men, because the men around my life at the time were still married. They were all in the matrix. There was men that were thinking like me. It's like the greatest thing, like a community of people I've never met, but their comments were exactly what I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Carl says, our tough skins jeans made today. I used to wear them growing up. Remember the little tag was the plastic rubbery tag and it would crack? Jean co's, piss off the misandry. Are you wearing the like wide legger jean co's where like it's not even a bell bottom? It's like the size of like a goddamn garbage can at the bottom. The real jean co's. I heart the 90s. There's this one girl I'm hung up on, but I'm not sure with the way the world is today is actually sad. Don't get hung up on a girl, I'll tell you that. Get hung up on you. Rad, I went into a new furniture store and this woman wouldn't leave me alone. She gave me her card and phone number. So I look her up and she's freshly divorced, 55 and back to the streets. That is becoming commonplace, John Boston. 90s, just remember she's not yours. It's just your turn. Don't get hung up on any particular chick. Truth. Scotty's back. I personally think life is better single. It's very freeing and you can still have friends if that's what you want. That's the freedom of being single. Scotty should know he's a Giga Chad that's single, never been married, no kids. Thanks, Rad. Sometimes I feel weird for saying what's bothering me most of the time. I'm not even understood. My brother literally punched me in the face 2 years ago. I couldn't forget what he did. Well, hang in there, man. Suzanne from Florida is back. Good to see Suzanne. Life is better for single men that value themselves. Appreciate that comment, Suzanne. Nasty slogan t-shirts and offensive hats? Nah, just a 23-inch jean coat. There you go, 23-inch. I heart the 90s. How do I get hung up on myself? You got to learn to internally want to be with yourself. You got to realize that ladies on the other side will not bring you what you want. That's just a fantasy we have in our minds. Men and boys should be free to choose their own commitments, not indoctrinated into attachments like relationships or marriage that don't benefit them. Facts. What do you think of the future of marriage will be? I try to talk about red pill points in my mate, but well, number one, you can't recruit. You can't recruit for marriage. Number two, there's still going to be marriage. There's still too many simps out there. I don't think it'll be as popular. I think people get married later, but there's still going to be marriage. Timothy Sokol from California is in the house. Good to see you, brother. Some men are so programmed it's funny. My sister did false alligators on me and my dad. Her fiance has a blind thinking. Well, most are. When I was a fiance, man, I was a simp. Not a bad simp. Not an ultra simp, but I sacrificed my time and my resources for her. He says, no, I'm not going to meet anyone. Attaboy, Sammy. Do what is in your best interest, health. Yep, well said. That's great, great statement for iHeart. I finished up recording drums for my band's upcoming album. I want to hear that. Send it my way, Scotty. His singer lives in Florida, and the band lives in Oregon. Good band. Give them nothing, says Timothy Sokol. Too many men want to be mummied and don't value their independence or personal worth. By the way, Scotty, let's get one of those tracks. I can play it on the channel. Rad, I had a 57-year-old told me she's a catch because she's not been married and didn't have kids. She didn't have the estrogen surge from a pregnancy then. That's what she's saying. Does she look like 57? We owe women nothing, and that's that. We should owe ourselves everything. Hang in there, Simone. You'll be good, brother. Focus on yourself. As long as we're discussing clothing trend, what is the misandry thinking these days? Sweatpants and leggings, no bras. Either no panties or them ugly ass granny. Really, I got one word. Lazy. Well said. Yeah, we need these channels for men to just vent and to feel that they're not alone. Wolf says, yes, it is what's poppin' rad. Good to see you. Yeah, Scotty. We all want to hear Scotty's stuff. Good. Get his music out there. Thanks, Riggs. It's hard to know, throw the happiness fantasy in the trash when she's a 9 out of 10. Well, you got to remember that 9 out of 10 someday is going to be a 3 out of 10. She's going to age too. Sunflower, man, it's been a while. Good to see you having a meaningful and lovely memorial. Wishing you one as well. Sunflower from Oregon. We're all in this together, not against each other. Heck, I think there will be peace on the Middle East. Hopefully there's peace. I'm not, man. You'd have to go down the rabbit hole when it comes to war. Awesome. Looking forward to it, Scotty. Part-time blank duty. I do what I want, no commitment. Attaboy. And he's watching Conan the Barbarian. I don't really have a choice. I only really go out with girls 18 to 29 because not just anybody is willing to go out with me on a Yamaha. You call the shots, brother. Will Murphy, how many men will die living alive? Ooh, that right there is some wisdom. Good to have you, Will. Rebel, appreciate giving your time and advice to us. 3:30 a.m. Peace out to you, Tony. I watched a game when Wilt Chamberlain was still around playing at classy women. There are feminine women out there that are extremely rare. I haven't heard anything on the Donald today. I know he's out campaigning. It's not a problem that they age. The problem is they give up along the way. Correct? Correct, Justin. Disentangle from the chiconomy as well, guys. Oh, I love that. Chiconomy. If they can't bleed you in marriage, they try via gynocentric companies. Yes, they do. Men are the can that women like to kick down the street. A lot of men are like that. A lot of men take it. I never want to become one of those guys with angry, defeated, sad faces, married a long time. Just go out and see the men at restaurants with their ladies. See how happy they are. I'm sure you'll find a couple, but the majority are going to be miserable. They're literally dead. They're just existing. Most men are dead, just existing. Well said, Otto. It is too profitable. Quite a few. Yep. Trogue says, paying taxes, you are either supporting foreign war or blank mothers. Truth. I'm still kind of young, but what happens once I'm well off in life? Just live alone? Just listen. I guess there's a lot of things we could talk about, but just listen to us. Go enjoy life. Go travel. At your age, travel. Find something that brings you the ability to see the world. Not too many classy women these days unless we go back in time. Not very many. This channel is far better than any therapy because you and the men here actually give a shit, says Chase. Well, we do. I do this channel because I figured if I could help one person from my experience, and they could pay it forward and pay it forward. And we do this because, you guys are my friends. I've never met you, but I'm sure we could sit down and hang out for a week together and not be bored and talk about life. Chiconomy is the new word for Bidenomics. But Chase, appreciate that comment. Watching W2 planes flying over today. Had an Osprey thumping over the port. We have an Air Force base that's 7 miles up. They fly the F cats or whatever they're called, the Tomcats all day long, and it's loud. And there's a C-130 that flies. That damn thing looks like a cruise ship in the sky. Thanks, brother, for being here. We appreciate your comments. Ask the chat. You're a young guy. Ask the chat. How do you get over the fantasy of life? Scotty's side, never been married, just turning 40. Timmy Kramer, 58, never been married, never had kids, and they're happy as hell. So yeah, you have the ability. FJT's 30 years old, owns his own house free and clear, never been married, GigaChat, all over the world, experiencing life, learning 6 languages, plays guitar, taught himself investing, 30 years old. If you check out FJT's channel, Freaky Jersey Tales, if anyone can put it up. If you're young, get your passport, go travel, and to travel in country, get your CDL and sign up for a year with a carrot. Why not? If guys are bored, have no idea what they want to do, they have no connections, go drive a truck for a year. See the world, live in the back, stack cash. And then at 10, I'm not a big jazz fan. Not a big jazz fan. I'm a Blazer fan. I think the 50s women were the most attractive. I do too. I think they had they owned their femininity. And men chased them. You are shedding life into the light of male liberty. Oh, that's a great quote or a great comment. The fantasy tells you that everything you've been programmed for will not turn out. It's the Wizard of Oz. At the end of the Wizard of Oz is a little, robotic machine. We have the ship Iowa docked down at the San Pedro port. Gotcha. Shout out to our veterans. If you ever doubt yourself, go walk the mall and look at the empty faces of the married men to remind yourself why being single is so great. Yeah, and what's that? Where is the money in life going to? People say you need $4 million to retire. No, you don't. You can retire on $250,000 in Southeast Asia. You don't need a lot. You earn $1,000 a month just off derivatives or dividends for $1,000 a month. You don't need a lot. Thanks, Justin. Thanks for being here. June Cleaver was the shit. Oh, there's some beautiful women. How about Marianne from Gilligan's Island? Celtics in 4 tonight. Can you see that? It's going to be Celtics and the Mavs. Mavs are up 3-0. I said it was going to be Denver and Celtics. I can't believe Denver went out. There's some conspiracy there, but who knows? 50s women were happier than they are today. Go figure. Well, they did things. They worked. They cooked food. They made the house beautiful. They dressed up when their man got home. They had no time to bitch and moan. Get Freeze Bag. Your thoughts on why a 30-year-old alpha male would, that's a very sad story. Grayson Murray. He apparently had bad depression. Rest in peace, And a guy making millions, popular celebrity athlete, golfer, just says, I'm done. Something was dark there. Wolf says, you ever go charter boating? I have. Yeah. Used to go up with my dad up in Washington, Alaska area and find big old rock cods. You have to shoot them with a pistol, or their little barbs would have poison in them, like venom. Hard being an army in a navy town. There you go. San Diego. In the 50s, women couldn't disappear and send you working papers from 8 states away. Well said. Why do you think it's easier for men to accept reality than women? Men accept reality when they get out of the fantasy. Women never accept reality because they live in the fantasy. But there are a lot of men that still live in the fantasy. Bear from I Dream of Jeannie. Yeah, there you go. Atrocious. Rebel thought you disappeared. No, man, I got canned a year ago. So I started Rebel Against Defeat 2.0. They canned me because I said something about the election. I think it was a Target. Good to have you, Atrocious. I remember you. Larry Bird, Reggie Lewis. Red is light, blue is darkness. What's up to you, Polo? Good to have you back. You are 100% right. Being a self-critical man means that I don't enjoy anything because I know I can achieve more. Well said, Simone. David Smith is back. Good to have you again, brother. Like men have gotten so caught up in consumerism, like women is bad. Yeah, there are men that are, consumers as well. I like to scuba. Never been, though. Snorkeling. Big Tau Phoenix, good to see you, brother. Saw you last night on Hammer Stream. When I see feminine woman in a sea of Massachusetts libs, it's like she got a spotlight on her. All the guys look at women like that unless those men voted Biden. Yeah? How about the ladies that are like, I hate conservative men? Get free. I'm 38, been an outcast and loner most of my life, and had depression I never deleted. He was an alpha male with millions. I don't know, man. He must have just had probably a dark, something was, yeah, could be benzos, SSRIs. A lot of them go out. A lot of them are unhappy. Fame and wealth does not guarantee happiness. There you go. Timothy says accountability is their kryptonite. I would agree. Hold her accountable, says MGTOW Phoenix. Once you learn to love yourself, everything comes naturally. And to accept yourself. Accept your weaknesses. Accept what happened to you. Accept your failures, right? That's how we move forward. My lady friend's dog, really appreciate his company. Cool little guy. There you go, Wolf. Sunflower America. There you go. Atrocious. Been listening to a lot of middle-class rut lately. You might like them. Well, send me the link. rebelagainstdefeat@gmail.com. Let us not be like our fathers living in the woman's fantasy. Half of them ain't shite in the 80s and beyond. Guys, this has been a great stream. You guys go out and have a great day today. Remember, think about the value of peace, quiet, and freedom, and build your life around it. We can help each other, Simone. Get Free says, a man of courage and bravery would never delete himself. I agree. You guys go have a great day. I'm out. Shout out to SCE for being here, and we'll see you on the next one. Late.